I always loved reading books as a kid. That was what I spent all my time doing basically. And when I got to school, one of the first classes that I took was an anthropology class, and I got really excited about kind of applying the methods that you use reading books, all this critical analysis and interpreting text and stuff to actual life and the meaning that people make out of their own lives. And so that was really exciting to me. And when I was actually deciding what to major in, I was really drawn to it by the research aspect and the kind of research that you can do in the field ethnographically. My name is Maggie Gallagher, and my project is titled Youth, Climate Change, and Visions of the Future in Miami. So my project took place in Miami, Florida, which is one of the most climate vulnerable cities in the United States because of its very low elevation and other kind of geographic factors. And so I'm studying how young people in the city perceive and understand the issue of climate change and how they relate to it in their own lives and whether they see themselves as kind of implicated in it or connected to it, just kind of discussing those issues. Well, one of the things that was really interesting about my fieldwork and the process of doing these conversations is that when I was recruiting people to participate in the project, I was trying not to select for people who had a pre-existing interest in climate change and instead kind of get a wider perspective of people who may not have had a lot of educational experiences with it or may just not even be that interested. And through that, these conversations, it was both I was listening to them and what they had to say, but I think because these conversations were being started, they realized that they had a lot of questions, and so it became a lot kind of a conversation where they're well, what is this issue? I would ask them what do you think climate change is, and they would kind of tell me, and they'd be well, what is it, you know? And I think that a lot of people said that they were really happy that somebody was there kind of talking about those issues because it made them, I think a lot of times, it's not something that people generally talk about very much, and especially not young people because there's so many other things to be worrying about. And I think that a lot of people really appreciated the issue even being brought up and seeing that other people did care. So I think that's something that I hope that I contributed. I guess the most important thing in a process like this is being open to what people are actually telling you and not assuming too much about what you might find. That I was really surprised by a lot of things that people said, and it was Miami is in the United States, but it's totally culturally different just because it's such an international city with so many people from Latin America and stuff. And so, that became a really big part of my research, is understanding how that kind of plays into people's understandings and how much they even care about these things. And yeah, so I guess throughout the process, just being open to new pieces of information and seeing where they lead you, I guess.